Hey, what's going on, everyone? How are you guys doing? It's me, Baby Girl Slaughter, better known as Carolyn Denise or Miss Niecy. I am back to do a short reading. I did one yesterday. I'm at lunch, so I just wanted to jump on here real quick. We're going to get into The Navigator Who Crossed the Ice Walls, Part 2. Yesterday, I covered chapters 22, Eden, and chapter 23, The Ancestral Life. So today, I'm going to start with 24, The Custodial Anunnaki Mothership. All right, where we're at right now. We're daggone near through with this book. And before I get started, I think I shared over on this Facebook page. I'm not sure if I shared on my other ones and my YouTube, my TikTok, but there's two audio books out that Claudio Nicelli has. I've listened to one of the two. One of them I fell asleep on. One of them's like 24 minutes long. The other one's like 40-something minutes long. So I'm going to try to put it back in this afternoon while I'm working, doing some returns, and listen to it. But they're very short, so that's probably why he didn't come out with the book yet for them. So I got them through Audible, so if you guys want to check it out, just go look up his information. All right, let's get into chapter 24, because my salmon is cooking and I'm going to eat. Okay, it says, one day I woke up startled, finding the island in total upheaval. What had happened? Okay, what had happened? I ran outside the dome structure trying to find the ancestrals who spoke my language, since most of them simply communicated in their native tongue, but all of them were truly unsettled. I'm sorry about that. I'm getting notifications on my phone. I found Kath Ra, who had been guiding me lately with the meditations and knowledge of all kinds, and she told me that they had attacked the coast we had visited some time ago, and that port was in flames. So see, just as we're fighting here in these known lands within Earth or Key, this dome, right? This dome sphere, they're fighting beyond the ice walls too, all right? In other lands. Same thing's going on. The custodians are everywhere, you guys. Just telling you. So she said, she told me that they had attacked the coast we had visited some time ago and that the port was in flames. The skies were also in chaos. The Iron Blues, which are spaceships or spacecrafts, right, were moving back and forth, and the sky was filled with blue trails crossing from one side to the other. It's crazy. The human giants had gathered and were also setting sail on their ships towards the port area where I had first arrived before the journey across the sky rills. Everything was quite chaotic. Kath Ra also told me that a mothership was approaching and that it had sent the metallic circles to investigate and scan our lands. Our radars had detected them and had already started to destroy them while the emergency protocols had been activated. So they have kind of like a active protection system that will alert them if, invaders are coming inbound. So then he says, what were these metallic circles? You may wonder, just as I did. Well, they were what you know as Foo Fighters, which had also been used during the First World War in my lands, which is here in the known lands, okay? And it says, origin to closely monitor the war and gather information and statistics. It was one of the many methods the custodians use for surveillance. Now I'm going to show you guys a picture. Now, if you have time, I know you're probably at lunch like me, but research the Foo Fighters and research the Battle of Los Angeles too. All right. Seriously, you're going to find some newspaper articles, maybe microfiche. May have to go on a couple websites to search, but you're going to see these actual things that supposedly they want to say that Hitler, was instrumental in creating these things. He was not. He was not. Though he knew what was going on, he was not. I'm going to show you a picture. This is what he's talking about, all right? So just take a look at this. Look. See? And see, in my mind, modern day right now, I would consider those, when you're going to attack somebody, obviously I've never been in the military. I was supposed to go to the Air Force, but I didn't. You're going to send out scouts or surveillance, right, to survey the area, right? You're going to have infiltrators too, right? They're going to blend in. So then when the time comes, you're going to strike. But my point is that these things could also be considered drones, right? You send in the drones before you actually send in the actual beings or people or sentient beings or robots, right? You're going to send in that. You're going to send in surveillance, and then you're going to do your first wave of attack is what I would think. So that's what it equates to me in my mind when I see this. So let's get on. Let's finish reading. I didn't go to see any Foo Fighters near where I was, but it's possible that they had already been destroyed. The technological advancement of this island and the entire ancestral region was truly invaluable. Every detection was quickly followed by the destruction of any intrusion, so they strongly doubted the custodians had been able to gather any real information. Okay. However, the main problem was far from over. The mothership was still approaching Eden's coast, and this clearly set off all the alarms. It triggered everything. If the custodians had found out that 23 humans had been rescued, rescued in the waters in Antarctica, right? It was possible that they had come for them. In that case, with me being here, I was an easy target. And therefore, the ancestrals decided that I had to be moved quickly back to Laurentia with the migrate. Now, remember, and I know, hey, David, I think you joined me. Hey, I've been reading this for over the past year, right? And you have to go back and kind of look at some of the videos. I think I uploaded some of them here and some of them on YouTube. But if you recall, I read to you the 178 dome worlds, right? And out of those worlds, there was a beautiful planet called Laurentia. And I read to you at the beginning of this book where the migrate, which is the sentient beings. I don't like to say extraterrestrials, y'all. I'm getting away from that, okay? I'll just say other beings, right? These beings, they have the big, large eyes and smooth skin, obviously. We look like them, right? Because we are a human avatar. These are avatars: 2 eyes, 2 ears, nose, mouth, hands, arms, whatever, feet, right? That's the bipedal hominid or bipedal template. I guess you could say template for the majority of these beings of us, because there's multiple beings that are out there that exist. My point is that there are certain factions of beings, extraterrestrials, okay, let's just say it. Extraterrestrials, kind of like with Star Wars, where they had the council, like the Republic, right? When Senator Palpatine was taking over in the Republic. Remember that part? And you had all these beings that came together in Congress and in Senate. This is kind of like this, where they have factions of beings beyond the ice walls that work together in conjunction to defend themselves against these custodians who have infiltrated this dome where we live. They're in our seats of government, the Zionists, whatever you want to call them, the elites, the oligarchs, the super rich, the Masons at the top, the very top. You've got the Jesuits, the Pope. I'm just saying, everything is interconnected. Medical, education, construction, anything you can think of, a financial system. Everything has been laid out and put in place, and they've been doing this for thousands of years, you guys. This is nothing new. It's not. It's just most people can't open their eyes to see it, right? So basically, because he came with these other humans, right? All these humans are there. They're attacking them. They're trying to figure out what's going on. So let me finish up, because now I think my sermon's almost done. So it says, however, the main problem was far from over. The mothership was still approaching Eden's coast, and this was clearly set off all the alarms. If the custodians had found out that 25 humans had been rescued, it was possible that they had come for them. In that case, with me being here, I was an easy target, and therefore the ancestrals decided I had to move back quickly to Laurentia with the migrate. And so it was. Without wasting any time, I boarded one of those Iron Blues, which is a spaceship, and we headed north at the incredible speed, so fast that I almost passed out several times during the journey. That would be a kick-ass ride, y'all. I'm telling you. Since the Morse incident, the ancestrals had not received any attack from the custodians or from humans sent with the custodial technology. That's what they told me during the trip. But I was too dizzy to reflect or ask questions about it. So it's like the oxygen level is not there. I'd be like, Chatty, I'd be asking 25 questions. Let me get on one of them ships. Man, I'm telling you. So it says, later, Hatton, who welcomed me as if I were a lifelong friend, along with many of the Maigri who came to greet me, although many of them didn't even speak the same language, explained to me that Morris incident was an attack carried out by the custodians in the ancestral lands after the ship led by Butler crossed the ice walls. Remember, I read to you guys in the book, if you remember how he passed and what happened, right? Despite the warnings they had received before departure, they were pursued all the way to the dome crossing, and then a fatal attack was launched, causing many civilian ancestral casualties. Right? Remember, they sent over 14,000 of them here within our dome, within our known lands, and they're all spread out all over the world. They're not just in one specific location, right? It says the Maigri didn't sit idly by either. They sent weapons and part of their forces to help repel the attack from what was possibly an Anunnaki mothership. However, according to later information, the ship suddenly changed direction, and although the real reason is unknown, I believe that after scanning from afar, they decided it wasn't a good idea to engage in direct combat with the second dome against the combined forces of the Anakim, the Ancestrals, and the Maigri. It would have been yet another custodial Anunnaki defeat in these lands. And that's where I'm going to stop it. So I've read to you chapter 24, the custodial Anunnaki mothership. And when I return, we're going to get into the path of Neshama. And that's something that we might have to deep dive and take some time. And I'm going to pull some other texts from other books so we can kind of cross-reference it. And we're going to talk a little bit more about the Neshama and ascension, how to take care of yourself, what you should be doing on a daily, some key tips, because I'm still working towards that goal. I have not decalcified this completely all the way. Like I said, my son he did the 40-day fast. He went through a whole change. And once you go through that, you guys, because you have to work up to it. Once you go through that and you become entangled with the creator of all, your perception of this reality changes exponentially. Like the things that are important to us now, right now, will not be important once you cross that threshold, if that makes sense. So anyway, I hope this has been beneficial to you guys. Like I said, it's entertainment purposes, but I'm sharing information. I think it's fascinating. And, like I always say, be the change you want to see all around this Earth Dome, because it's up to you and I to make a positive change. I'll talk to you soon. Thanks, David, for watching. Bye.